Hello, this is my assignment for this chapter where we had to pick out a grading system for the Mitchell Community College instructors. If we were like the kind of the overseer of the education department in general, or the education whole system. The way I would go about this, I know you said that we needed 10 different elements, which I will say I kind of struggled trying to find 10 without getting like gritty with details. Um, and also, it's difficult to find things that are not necessarily subjective. So hopefully I can kind of explain how the grading system is going to work. So I would actually use a two-part system. It would be both a combination of student controlled, where I would not send out, but I would have the offering of a end of course review system, kind of like what's in place right now. I can also remember back when I went to NTI, because that was so glorious. They, at the end of every 3-week semester, because they did like 3-week courses for each specific thing, they would send out, or they would allow you to fill out a little flyer that had a bunch of different questions on it, and you did a scale of 1 to 5, etc., etc. And the things that I would focus on the student side of it is the overall atmosphere of the classroom and how they feel and stuff like that. I'll get into that detail here in a moment. The other half of the part would be the instructor side of it, where it would be a peer review. You would have another instructor come into a classroom, or a superior or something like that. I think they kind of do this already as well. I do mostly online courses, so I don't really see it, but every time I've done an in-class or an in-classroom course, I have had where an instructor would be there for like a day or two, kind of checking up on things. So I'm going to focus on the instructor one first, because it's a little bit more simple. I would want to make sure that the classroom environment is enjoyable. I have this theory as a student that I feel like I learn better when the classroom is enjoyable or fun or something like that. Like, I'm not looking for like playtime or anything, but it always feels easier to learn if you're having a good time. So the first thing I would look at is the actual classroom environment itself. Now, I know a lot of the instructors, they don't have a specific room that they're assigned to, so they can't really decorate or anything like that. But just overall, like, how does the class feel? Like, on a scale of 1 to 5, would you say that the classroom is a comfortable and inviting place? The next one would be visual aids. If you have a math class or something like that, then maybe you'd have, like, instead of just writing on a chalkboard or on the whiteboard, you'd actually have like things where you can show how to do it, or like you'd have real world. You could actually show how this plus this. I'm not really sure how I would explain that, but I will say I found this assignment rather difficult, to be completely honest, trying to figure all the logistics out. So, but yeah, depending on the class, could there be visual aids? Could there be a more hands-on approach to it? Because just reading out of a book, it does not work for me necessarily. So be it. The next one would be, if you're in the classroom, how is your vocal charisma? Or if you're on an online, do you post videos, or are you more of a non-video, just type up the assignment and that's what you're supposed to do? I would be looking for an instructor who likes to talk, likes to lecture. Even though it's an online course, they like engaging with the students as much as possible. Or if it isn't a classroom setting, then obviously an instructor that is engaging, not necessarily just through PowerPoints, but like actually likes to talk and likes to explain things, likes to give real world scenarios. Their voice is not monotone and puts you to sleep kind of a thing. Something that keeps the students engaged with the topic, rather than blah, 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 sounding like the Peanuts, the adults from the Peanuts. Then beyond that, I would like to see some form of switching up between the different learning styles. Now, obviously, like I've said, I'm more of a hands-on learner. Some people are more visual learners. Some people are more reading learners. They like to read, and that's how they learn. So there's a bunch of different learning styles, and I'd like to see the instructor try and integrate multiple styles into each lesson, or at least try and switch it up to where it helps with you. Like maybe do a PowerPoint on the information, but then also do like real world scenarios where the students actually put their hands on the topic. Like if it's a math problem, they do a bunch of math problems. If it's a social thing where some type of science or something like that, then they can actually physically see the thing going on. So it kind of works that way. And then finally, I would test on a level of professionalism. And not necessarily professionalism in the sense of you're being very dot your I's, cross your T's, but your students like you. Like there's a difference between students who respect you as a teacher and then students who respect you as somebody that they trust. I can say from personal experience, there's been some teachers that I've had both in high school as well as in TI as well as at this school that were really, really good teachers, but I never really connected with them. I felt no connection to them, and it made it difficult for me to continue to stay engaged with that teacher because I just kind of was like, oh, well, let me get this class done. Versus there was some other ones that I genuinely enjoyed going to class because the teacher enjoyed conversating. Like, may not be about the topic, like maybe before class or after class, or they throw a couple jokes in there or something like that. Someone who's comfortable in that environment and is able to talk to their students, not as students, but just as adults. And there might be a little bit of clowning around or something like that, but they make, again, it goes back to make the classroom an enjoyable environment. And then on an online platform, that could be like when you're giving feedback, instead of just be like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, these are the things you did good, these are the things you did bad. Maybe add some just examples of real world stuff that you would talk about with your friend or with a family member or something like that, rather than just point kind of a thing. So, that's what I would want to see in the instructor side of it. Then you go over to the student side of it, and the pamphlet that the student would fill out or online or something like that. And it would be kind of the same topics, but it would be it'd be kind of more towards the student. Like, did you enjoy this class? Did you find it fun? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What things would you like to see different? And I know most of the time these things are just filled out where it's just 5s across the board. You don't pay attention to them, stuff like that, because it's a 1 through 5 thing. You just give 5s. Unless you really didn't like the teacher, then you actually say it honestly. Oh, excuse me. But other than that, it's usually just like, yeah, get it done and over with, move on. But I do believe that there are students out there who truly do fill those out honestly, both good and bad. I'm one of them. I always fill them out to the truth the best I can. So I want to have that extended out to the students, so they know that they can communicate openly and anonymously, because I don't want them to feel like, well, if I do give a bad review, I'm going to get a bad grade kind of a thing, because it doesn't need to be like that. If you're not learning and if you don't feel comfortable in your class, then you need to be able to express it and not be afraid that you're going to get punished for it. So again, it's really kind of subjective, and I know we were supposed to avoid that, but it really is kind of difficult to avoid that, because I do feel like there is a true element of feeling passion behind learning. Otherwise, you're just going to be like in the normal public school system where all the school cares about is curriculum and grade point averages. And I think that's one of the major things that's failing the school system right now, is the state only cares about standardized testing and how people test. And there's some people who, let's face it, are never going to be good at math, but they can play the violin beautifully, and they are going to be an absolute phenomenal prodigy, whatever, but they can't tell you anything about the Civil War. So yeah, that's it kind of goes against what the project's supposed to be about, but I truly feel that there's more to it than just grade point averages. And if you want to look at grades, that's fine. And I do think grades should represent the teacher, but only if the grades are consistently bad. And like Mr. Miller said, you can forge that. Like, it's not right, it's not morally correct, but it's not hard to, quote, burn the books. So yeah, it's very difficult to put a grade on it, but at the same time, I think that's more important. In a way, it's almost the same as, if you take care of your employees will take care of you. Same concept. If you take care of your students and you give them the opportunity to enjoy learning, then they're going to learn better. Yeah, I don't really know how to word that any other way. So let me know if you have any questions, if I need to clear things up. I'm definitely going to be looking forward to your replies, as always. Sorry this is a little bit long, but it was really hard to explain what I was trying to say. So can't wait to see your replies. Thank you. Have a great day.